Alright, hi there, this is Subtitling back on another video, right? So today I'm gonna take you through an edit, right? So recently we shot a video called Girlfriend Awards, right? For Umkhandlu tribe. It's a comedy skit. I wanna take you through the edit and tell you why I edited it that way and what was my thinking, right? So I think this is around 4 hours of editing footage, 4 or more. So I wouldn't it's screen recording, right? But my thought was to record the screen recording as well. That will have a lot of effect on quality, so I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna try and watch the footage and explain what's happening, but it's gonna be fast forwarded in your space, right? So let me go to the footage. Okay, so I found the first clip. It's gonna roll now on your thing as well. So here's what I start with when I'm editing, right? Open the file, a new project, put the files in, there is importing, and then I create the thing. I create I create the sequence, right? And then what I do is put the things all over the thing, and that's the video files, put them on top, all of them, cut them and whatnot. And then what I do is chop. Now I'm chopping video files wherever I feel that those parts are not gonna be used. This is the first like chopping, rough chopping session, right? After I've also said sometimes I do this, sometimes I don't, in and out, right? So setting the in and out for each video, right? And then what I do is, this is before everything as well, synchronizing the audio, right? If I've made an external audio recording, I make sure that is the first thing I do, is synchronizing the audio, right? Also, you can even take it a step further and edit that audio on the Adobe Audition. But there's sometimes there are problems when it's too long of an audio. You find that some parts want to be edited in different ways, so I think that's what I did here. After chopping those files like that, okay, so what I did is, there's a guy who's a friend of this guy actor here, friend of mine, is a musician, right? He makes music, makes rap songs, so it's one of his songs that we're using here. You see that green sort of line in terms of audio, that is his song. No, is that his song? Nope, the green line is the audio recording, the external audio recording, but the third one, audio 3, that's his song, right? So I'm just putting in the song, seeing where it fits, right? And then let's move on to the next one. What I'm doing here is still editing, but now I'm adding sound effects, right? Sound effects. Here what I discovered, let me see if there's audio. What was this sound effect for? I think it was for shooting, right? Camera capture. I made a sound effect for that. You make it once and then it just works all the time. It's very, very efficient. I don't know. And the winner is... the drums as well. The drums as well. So the this drum roll thing. I also I took different sort of audio parts of drums, and then I put it as a drum roll of something, right? You just make it once and then repeat it every time, because this was a repetitive process, right? And also there are parts where after you've given the person the award, you stand and pose for a shot, right? I didn't stop recording there. I just took I just took a frame out of that thing and then went to Photoshop edited it and then made sure it's not the same as that thing, right? Like the video coloring process, edited it out, Photoshop style, whatever you do as a Photoshop like artist. I'm a photographer, if you might don't know. Edited all those shots. I think I just did that process once, right? Took all the clips that or the frames that I knew that I was gonna use as what I need to charge. Took all the frames that I knew that I was gonna use as the shots and then edited them, right? This was the process. And then the next thing was checking if this thing's still recording. The next thing was check or search for music, right? Not music, but the camera shutter, right? All those pictures that I'm editing now, there should be a sound of like this picture is taken, something like that. Yeah, right. Search for that thing, combine two effects, I think, to make that thing come true, right? So just use it. I think there were 4 or 5 shots. Use it 4 times then, right? And then what is happening here? Yeah, that is me using those shots. And then the other thing is there were times where this guy was sort of giving a speech, right? This is a comedy skit, right? But he's sort of like talking in terms of saying, I'm thankful that you are my girlfriends and whatnot, right? It's really absurd sort of speech, but I want to use sort of ironical type of music, right? Its speech should be uplifting, should be inspirational. So I search for music that's gonna be like that. Obviously here it didn't work that well. One reason is that our audio recording wasn't that clear, right? So what I wanted to do is took his audio, sort of re-voice, like trailer, sort of like that speech like voice. See those inspirational speeches that people make, the music behind them is and the person is talking. See, I wanted to sort of imitate that thing, but our audio here it didn't budge, right? It wasn't supporting that. But the idea I think still worked by using those sort of inspirational going underneath him whenever he was making those shots, right? Obviously I could have taken it a step further in terms of making it ironical and then just made shots a little bit upper so that it looks small while making those things, while the music is also inspirational, right? I would have played with it in different number of ways, right? I'm really concerned about this recording. I'm recording on the phone, so I can't see if it's going on or not. You'd forgive me for that. So that's what I did. I searched for a few songs, right, and used them in all of those parts, right? And then here there is a clip. I think I was trying to do that thing. I was trying to edit his voice to be epic, sort of trailer like, speech like voice, but it didn't work that well, right? It didn't do what I wanted it to do. That would have been epic, but I think it still worked in that manner. Okay, so here I'm putting in those things, those pictures. Oh, also the other sound effects that I got was this one of people clapping, right, like in awards shows. Just took a clip, music clip of that thing, not music, audio clip of that thing, and then put it beneath whenever there was clapping here, right? And then there was part where we say we're going to the ad break, right? I decided late what I was gonna put there. I put the people that we're featuring in the skit. I put the person for the music. I put myself in there as I was the shooting guy and the editing guy, right? Yeah. Okay, let's move on. No, this was a music video. And then what did I do? I changed the layout. Mostly, what was I editing here? I was putting some effects. I'm not sure what's the music. I was putting the effects to. Let me check. see that background thing in there that I did. Let me check how many minutes I still have here. This is getting ridiculous. Let me. Alright, so I didn't intend for this thing to be this long. That's what she said. So while I was editing the thing, what I do is, as I've changed my layout here, what I've started to do is, when I'm working with effects and that I know that I'm gonna use them a lot, maybe I'm zooming in, I'm zooming out, which is what's happening here. So with pictures, right, when you're shooting, you want it to sound like, right? So you want the picture to go forward and then back. So that was the scale for like 5 pictures. That's what I did. Undock this effects thing so that I can work well, right? And then the other thing is, I continued on to add audio throughout. What was that behind there? I'm not sure what was happening there. Oh, okay. Also what I did is, so you know, in our shows, right, when a person is going up to get that award, some music is played underneath, right? So I make sure every time I play that. So also I wanted to hide that fake clap from the crowd that I took from our shows. Well, not hide it that much because you can hear it clearly, but also I want you to hear it but ignore it, right? That's what I wanted to do, right? I wanted it to be able to be ignorable. That's what I did there, right? So I played that every time they were clapping and whatnot. I added some song, right? The other part is started to add was this subtitles, captioning, right? The parts that's been confusing with subtitling, right? There is a missed opportunity with subtitles, right? But there's also disadvantages that may come with exploiting that opportunity, right? There's an opportunity with subtitles to add extra comedy, right? I'm not sure if this is allowed in comedy, right? But it will be fun. Well, I try to do it sometimes, but the issue is, or what I risk is, losing a lot of people, right? We have audience that spans across sort of various cultures and backgrounds and whatnot. So if there's gonna be a joke in whatever he says, and then a joke in whatever I translate it as well, I'm not sure. I think maybe it might get missed, right? Because there is isiZulu, there is English, right? But there is English in isiZulu, right? There is the English that we speak of comedy wise, or as Zulu people, there is English that we speak that is not really English, but it's isiZulu spoken in English that is funny if you're a Zulu person, right? So there's always an opportunity for that. I'm always struggling as to whether as to the words I might use, right, to make it even more fun, right? But I try to refrain because I don't want to lose a lot of people when doing this stuff as well, right? But that would be funny, so I try to do it now and then, right? So look out for that, I think, if you're a fan of our page, right? Also, I'm still struggling with the what's this the subtitle thing, the name of the phone to use and whatnot. So I'm always trying something new there, right, every time. And there were lots of parts, right? But gladly it wasn't the whole video that needed subtitling, right? And yeah, that's what that's what I did actually. That's the gist of the video. Subtitling, and then next part. Okay, so this I think this is the most complicated sort of sequence that I've edited for the comedy skits so far, right? And then the next thing was I started adding I added an adjustment layer, right? An adjustment layer is used for editing the footage in terms of coloring the thing, right? So what is wrong with this footage? First thing is well the background then so the sun was behind him, and then it was around golden hour, right? So it was really yellow, right? And then the thing that happens there also, the saturation, the colors were too saturated, right? It was too much, at least for me, right? I wanted it to feel like gassy vibe, not too saturated. Gassy, it's not too well. There are a lot of colors, right? Because there is no sort of uniformity in terms of buildings and whatnot, but there's also that spirit of dryness, right? Sort of that's floating around, and I like sort of that dryness as well. Actually, I do it all the time. So first thing I did was to change the sky, right? It's blue there. I want it going a bit cyanish, right? And that's what I wanted with the sky for all the shots. And then it's cyan, and then take down the saturation, right? It's dark cyan, sort of. That's what I did with the sky with all the shots, right? And then went with the editing of the thing, shot for shot mostly, right? Whenever there was a change in the scenery and whatnot, I was doing that. That's why my adjustment layer is cut to fit shot per shot, so that I can make edits shot by shot, right? But mostly I just copied from the previous shot, pasted the settings to the next shot, and then tweaked the settings in terms of what's different between the shots, right? That was what I did. Also, well, this footage is from my camera, and my camera wasn't that expensive, right? So it didn't shoot raw footage, right? So there's only so much you can do in terms of color grading, right, before the footage falls apart, right? But I tried here, right? That's actually the last process in terms of editing any type of video, right? I was listening to music, editing the thing. Yeah, I think those were the final touches. Nope, it's not the final touches. This was still the editing. Let me check if there's other. No, there isn't any other. So I did that coloring in that way that I said, and then I made the final touches, added some few other clips in terms of music, and yeah, that was the video, right? I'm hoping that with these videos that I make of this nature, I sort of show you what goes through the thinking that is behind editing every video, and then also the thinking that goes behind editing comedy, right? Comedy is a different sort of type of video sort of genre, right? So there is a lot that goes on in terms of how you can make things funny. There's the visual aspects, how you record the thing, add the scene, right? Then there is whatever the person is saying, right? There's whatever the person is saying, and that should be comedy on its own. How you shoot it, that's comedy on its own. How it's edited, that's comedy on its own, right? There's a lot of layers, right? So this is showing you the type of things I go through and we go through editing and shooting this stuff, and yeah, how it all comes about. That was the thinking, right? And also, well, I said in my last video how I edit these videos. See that part where there's clapping, right? I also saw that it was too dry, right? The suggestion to add that clapping there, that fake clapping, was from the other guy that I'm working with this, the start of this video, right? Because I send these things around for review and see where I might have missed something, and also it helps not to rush these things. I think I took almost a week to edit this thing, so it was easier to come back and see mistakes the next time I'm having a sit down edit of this thing, right? Hopefully my audio is able to. I'm having a problem with this recording with my phone as my camera is broken. The audio here tends to have its own things. All right, that's been it. I didn't intend for this video to be this long, but well, it is what it is, right? See you in the next one. That's been it. So much.